So, good morning. Managing back pain. Is it really a good idea to manage back pain? So many people I meet fall into this pattern of managing their back. And it might surprise you, but this strategy for looking after your back pain isn't really a good idea. So, it actually might be the very thing that's keeping you in your back pain, which is the process of managing your back pain. So before, like, listen, that can be a little bit of a hard thing to hear because it can sound logical that I need to manage my back pain. But even the word manage for me is wrapped up in a sense of trying to control something that to a large extent is uncontrollable. And pain is a little bit like that. It makes sense if, say, someone's in end of life care and they need to get comfortable and pain relief is the priority. And in other situations, where someone maybe has a something underlying condition that needs to, that they need to manage pain in order for that person to continue with their life. But for the majority of people, like who I'd be talking to and who I would meet, that's a really bad idea. Managing back pain is a really bad idea. So I'm talking to the 30, the 40, the 50-year-old with back pain, no major disease and no serious underlying condition. And yet their whole life has become about managing back pain, about protecting their back and about watching it all of the time. So being very vigilant about the pain. And this trap of managing sounds responsible, doesn't it? I'm just managing my pain. Just, I do all this because I don't want to have a flare up of my pain. But if we break the word itself, manage down, it really means control. And control often means protect. And here's the biggest problem is that protection is kryptonite to recovery. I'm a big Superman fan because the moment that your brain believes that your back needs constant protection, it starts and you start acting like you're fragile. So again, this taps into our identity that could often engulf us without even realizing, because we often think that we're doing the right thing and we're following the right path. Um, and if you think about it, we really do get what we focus on. Like if your day revolves around how does this feel? Like, should I do this? Is this okay? Is this going to hurt me? The pain becomes the center of your world. And when pain becomes your focus, it also becomes your identity. And I've seen this so many times. Like people just start out just being careful. Maybe they've had a flare up of back pain and they become cautious, then they become avoidant, and then they become really fearful. And before they even know it, they stop doing the things that they love. They stop moving with a sense of freedom and expression and ease, and they stop trusting their body. And what happens? Their world starts shrinking back. And it's not because their body is failing, but because their belief system is just tightening around the pain, that sense of wanting to control it. And your body is just often sensitive, but it's actually, in that scenario, it's not actually damaged. I know the scans might show things. And yes, you definitely probably are feeling pain with that, but that pain doesn't equal damage. And when you treat sensitivity like fragility, you reinforce the very thing that you're trying to escape, which is that protective cycle. Um, and I think when people are stuck managing pain, they're not just losing their movement, they're actually losing the very thing that can calm pain in an instant, which is joy. So let's think about it. What gets replaced? Like fun often becomes replaced by fear. Spontaneity in movement, in decision making, in what we do about our back often becomes full of rigidity. Movement becomes wrapped up in tension, and freedom becomes controlling, trying to control something on a constant daily basis, moment to moment. And life becomes smaller, tighter, heavier. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And that's an expression that I hear from a lot of people that I would meet who've been managing back pain for a long period of time. And even then, when they go into the system, the traditional system, looking for solutions, they're given endless, meaningless, boring exercises, treatments that are just basically doing the same thing, and just sort of modifying that protectiveness temporarily. They get scans, they get more opinions, and honestly, this might be really funny to say, but a simple hot water bottle often gives more relief than all of those things. But a lot of people are I suppose, when they're feeling that relief from, maybe they get a little bit of treatment, they feel a little bit better, or the hot water bottle, they feel a bit better, they attribute that to a structural change in their back, when really what it's doing is it's just calming the system down. It's taken from being really wound up and sensitive to less sensitive. But because our actions and fundamentally around that are not changing, that sensitivity just ramps up when we go back into the real world and our real life. So, what's the way out of it? Great question. Really important thing to ask. It's not ignoring pain, right? It's just moving beyond it. It's understanding that your body rebuilds trust through experience, not through protection. And that means moving again, exploring again, and living again. Not perfectly, not pain free immediately, but progressively over time. And here's the truth that most people miss, that life is actually the antidote to this. Not another diagnosis, not another label, not another fix, but doing things that you actually enjoy, that get you out of your body and back into the real world, moving in ways that feel good, laughing, connecting, creating. That's what changes your nervous system, and that's what breaks the cycle. And when you get stuck in pain, you start seeing a future full of struggle, and that drains you, completely drains you. And it affects your mood, it affects your relationships, your energy. You become really frustrated, short tempered. You dread things. But this future is being created by your view, what you're focused on not just your body. So you have a choice. You can keep managing, keep protecting, keep shrinking your life, or you can decide, I'm going to start living again. And even if it's imperfect, and it will be when you start, because the goal just isn't, it can't be less pain. Because when we're always focused on trying to get rid of the pain, what are we focusing on? We're focusing on the pain. So inadvertently, we're going to get more suffering, struggle, and more pain. So you've got to stop building your life around pain and build your life beyond it. Have a super day. If you want any more information on the upcoming program, just drop me a reply with the word better. And I look forward to talking to you again really, really soon. Have a great day.